Hello and welcome to the V Cert Level 1-2 Technical Award Bitesize Introduction for the subject area of Health and Fitness. This webinar will provide a bite-sized introduction to the new V Cert Level 1-2 Technical Award in Health and Fitness. It'll guide you through the structure of the qualification, the examined and non-exam assessments, and will provide an overview of the quality assurance process. There will also be a summary of the teaching and learning materials and other resources that we have available to support you in your delivery. Lastly, it will provide details of the provider development team if further support is required or if you have any further questions. Firstly, there will be an overview of the qualification. This is the qualification structure for health and fitness. The guided learning hours are 146 hours, and this includes 120 hours for delivery, 22 hours for the non-exam assessment or the NEA, plus 2 hours preparation and research time, and then 1 hour 30 minutes for the external assessment or the EA. The total qualification time is 160 hours, and this includes homework that you might set and/or independent learning. The NEA has a 60% weighting and the EA has a 40% weighting. The content assessed in the NEA and the EA will be sampled from across the full breadth of the qualification. The overall qualification grades are a level 1 pass up to a distinction, and for level 2, a pass up to a distinction star. This slide shows a typical 2-year delivery model. Now, this is only a suggestion, but it does help to illustrate how the new structure could work for you. It essentially follows a very similar structure to that of a GCSE, in that the first year is for delivery, where there are no summative assessments, and the second year is the assessment year. It has been designed this way to allow for the first year of delivery to be focused entirely on teaching the content of the qualification. This really does allow you to focus on ensuring the learners are building up knowledge and skills, and gives you as much time as possible to teach the qualification content so that your learners are ready for their assessments. All technical awards now have a terminal assessment rule as stipulated by Ofqual and the DFE. This means that the external examinations must be taken at the end of the qualification after the non-exam assessment or the synoptic project has been completed. We will be releasing the NEA briefs on the 1st of September each year, and it can also be administered from September 2 if all the content has been taught. We do think that all the content could have been comfortably delivered by December, ready to start the NEA in January, but we do appreciate that some schools may get through everything sooner. The final marks will need to be submitted to the portal by the 30th of April each year, in which the learner evidence will then be moderated. It can be delivered over 3 years, as some centres might want to start delivering in year 9, although we do recommend a 2-year delivery model so that it coincides with GCSEs. There is one unit that contains 8 content areas for health and fitness, and the specification includes the indicative content and the teaching guidance that will help support your delivery. Formative assessment can help track your learners' progress in their first year of studying this qualification. Keeping a record of each formative assessment result will allow you to monitor your learners' ongoing progress, predict a final grade, and identify if any further interventions are required. There are various sources of data for performance indicators, such as end-of-topic tests, discussions with learners to assess their depth and breadth of knowledge of the subject content, homework and independent tasks, engagement with practical activities and outcomes of those practical tasks, performance at Key Stage 3, teacher observation during practical tasks using the NEA practical assessment criteria. There are also many resources such as learning roundups in the teaching materials, sample assessment materials, and prepare to teach activities that are available on our website to further support your formative assessment. Other performance indicators could include the mark schemes with the mark ranges, and here it is worth noting that the range of marks in the mark scheme could also be a performance indicator. So, for example, 7 to 12 marks could be a distinction or strong level 2 merit, 4 to 6 marks could be a merit, strong level 2 pass, and 0 to 3 marks could be in the level 1 range. Another useful way to track your learner progress is to use the overall grading descriptors in the specification. In our Prepare to Teach session, we do go into a little bit more detail about formative assessment, and on your screen now you can see a range of methods. So just take a few moments to consider which ones do you use? Do you use a wide range of activities? And do your learners get assessment fatigue? Thinking more broadly though, could you develop your practice to make things easy for you or better for your learners? I know that I have my favourite methods as a teacher, but that I need to be mindful that all learners are different and respond differently. So making things fun, diversifying approaches and reviewing the impact of the success of my approach is really important.
There will now be more detail about the non-exam assessment, including the sample material that is also available. The NEA is a practical project that your learners undertake under controlled and supervised conditions. It has a set number of tasks that are completed in 22 hours plus 2 hours preparation and research time. The NEA is externally set by NCFE, and there will only be one attempt at the NEA per session, so there is no resubmission opportunity. NCFE recognises that reasonable adjustments may be required for assessments, and information is available in our access arrangements and reasonable adjustments policy and our special considerations policy on our website. For health and fitness, the NEA is 60% of the technical award and has a total of 88 marks. A different NEA brief will be released every September, and it will target assessment objectives AO1, AO2, AO3, AO4, and AO5. This slide shows a summary of the NEA tasks for health and fitness, including the marks to be awarded for each section. The key point to note here is that when you are considering the learner journey and the sequencing of the curriculum and the content areas need to be continually linked to the NEA and tasks. It's also worth considering how your learner journey also linked to the external assessment too. Subject-specific tutor guidance has been produced to support the delivery of the Level 1-2 technical awards for both the examined assessment, EA, and the non-examined assessment, the NEA. It is not intended to replace the specification documents, but should be used in conjunction with them to support the successful delivery and completion of the qualifications and assessments. You'll find this document in the support materials section of the qualification page on our website. The NEA will be electronically available 1st of September in the year of certification, and the final NEA marks are submitted to the portal by the 30th of April. All teaching must be completed prior to accessing the assessment, and the learners must be booked onto the NEA associated with the year of completion. Prior to commencing the formal set hours for the NEA time, learners should be allocated 2 hours of preparation and research time. During this time, learners may have access to the project brief, but may not have access to the NEA tasks. The 2-hour time period is entirely open book, where learners can access their teaching and learning materials, textbooks, internet, and other published materials. From this, they should develop a research support pack, which can be used as their source of information when completing the NEA. This is the only support materials that is permitted during the completion of the NEA tasks, unless otherwise stated within each task's instructions, and must be submitted to the tutor at the end of each session and kept secure. The materials developed in the planning, preparation and research time may not be submitted as assessment evidence, as this will be considered malpractice. The research pack should be no more than 4 sides of A4 in font size 12, and this can be handwritten or electronic. Some tasks within the NEA permit the use of the internet access to support the completion of the task. Learners will be required to submit a copy of their internet browsing history to ensure that the controls around the internet use are adhered to. Where the NEA allows for research requiring the use of internet, learners must reference the source in their work. Learners must cite sources of information within their NEA. There is a useful table in section 8 that will show you if the use of internet is permitted and if the internet browsing history is required. There is also specific guidance for each task within the NEA. The inclusion of these tasks is to illustrate the proposed structure and timings required resources in addition to the pack development in the preparation and research time, and any additional requirements around delivery or controls. Within the regulations for the conduct of the NEA section, instructions are provided on the correct administration or the internally assessed NEA. The NEA tasks must be issued one at a time and in the correct sequence to appropriately meet the requirements of the tasks in the terms of resources and organisation of the learning environment. All learners should start tasks at the same time to promote fairness and prevent unfair learner advantage and aid the centre's manageability. Learners can rework their evidence at any point during the supervised sessions, but supervisors must not give any feedback to a learner on how a task or area can be improved. Learners' work must not be assessed, marked, or internally quality assessed during the supervised sessions. Learners will have one opportunity to sit the NEA session. Therefore, if a learner does not achieve, they will need to re-register to sit the NEA for the next series. Centres will be provided with training opportunities for how to administer and assess the NEA, including the application of mark schemes. They will provide valuable information to help you understand our mark schemes, supporting you to run your own standardisation sessions prior to the assessment window opening. These events are a great opportunity to expand your knowledge and understanding of V Cert technical awards and are suitable for assessors and IQAs delivering on these qualifications. Attendance to these sessions will also be checked as part of your annual monitoring review, AMR. V Cert administration training. The training will cover the administrative activities required to deliver and assess our Level 1, Level 2 technical awards, including key dates, completion of assessment paperwork, your roles and responsibilities, and what you can expect from NCFE. V Cert Prepare to Assess training. This training, as it will help you develop your understanding of the grading criteria when assessing your learners' responses to the internally assessed units, and it will provide valuable information to help you understand our mark schemes. There are sample assessment materials available for the NEA, and these are for you to use as practice projects, and you can fit these in whenever works best for you, be that the summer year 10, January year 11, wherever you feel it's the most beneficial for your learners. It consists of an introduction, what synoptic assessment is, information for learners including the AOs, marks and weightings, the project brief, assessment tasks and the learner declaration. There is also a sample mark scheme. It consists of assessment tasks and associated mark schemes including descriptors, available marks and indicative content for each of the AOs. Sample assessment materials including mark schemes will be available for you to access on the NCFE website on the V Cert page. Any example responses are available to download in the assessment materials section of the qualification page on our website. They will not be differentiated by level for the Model 5 as these are not determined until marks are combined for the EA and the NEA and the overall marks are added together. And there will be a top band 4 and a band 2 level response for each qualification in the example NEAs. This is a band 2 NEA response example. And this is a top band 4 NEA response example.
There will be now more detail about the examined assessment, including the sample assessment materials that we also have available. To summarise, the examined assessment, or the EA, is 40% for the Technical Award for Health and Fitness. It is a written examination that is externally set by NCFE. Learners have 1 hour 30 minutes to complete it, and it is graded out of 80 marks. There is a mixture of multiple choice, short answer and extended response questions, and it targets assessment objectives AO1, AO2 and AO3. The examination date is May-June time every year, and there is only one attempt at the examined assessment. Booking for the EA is upon registration, and please do refer to the external assessment timetable on our website for the confirmation of the exact EA dates, which will be published a year in advance of the actual exam. There are 3 main types of question on the external assessment, and where possible, they have been set within the context of the subject with real-world case studies. The first type of question is multiple choice, and these are usually worth 1 mark. Multiple choice questions cover assessment objective 1. The second type of question is short answer, and they are usually around 2 to 4 marks. And the third type of question is extended response, where these questions are usually worth 6 marks or more. There are 9 mark examples on this slide. To support effective teaching and learning, the table in the tutor guidance document provides centres with the command word taxonomy used for the external assessment. It illustrates the range of command words, associated assessment objectives, and their intended use. It is intended to support centres when creating assessment tools. Please note that these cover the full range of Level 1 to Technical Award qualifications, and some may be more appropriate for certain subject areas. You'll find this document in the support materials section on the qualification page on our website. There are also sample assessment materials available for the EA, and again, these are for you to use as mocks, and you can fit these in whenever it works best for you. It consists of learner instructions, information and details, and the questions, which are divided up into sections with marks to be awarded for each question. The mark scheme is also available, and this consists of marking guidelines, assessment objectives, and the answers including which assessment objective the question refers to, and the marks to be awarded. This is then replicated for all the questions in each section. For the higher mark questions, the mark scheme details the level, the marks that can be awarded, the descriptor for each AO, and the indicative content to be included in the learner's answer. The last page contains an assessment objective grid for each section. Sample assessment materials, including mark schemes, will be available for you to access on the NCFE website on the V Cert page.
The next few slides will provide a brief overview of the quality assurance process and then provide some information in relation to moderation. The assessors will assess and mark all learner evidence for the NEA in line with the mark schemes provided by NCFE. The assessors will also complete the assessor to learner feedback form, which is available in your assessment pack, which will be released with the NEA brief on the 1st of September. As the NEA is moderated, the centre's IQA efforts need to be focused on upfront standardization. Centres need to apply their own IQA policy process based on the outcome of the standardization activities they complete to satisfy their own internal quality assurance. Standardization will ensure assessors' judgments are in line with the qualification specification and grading criteria. In line with the JCQ guidance, centres should inform learners of their centre-assessed marks before marks are submitted to NCFE to allow for any internal centre appeals. Centres should make it clear to learners that any centre-assessed marks are subject to change throughout the moderation process. Once the centre has submitted the marks to the portal, learners will then be selected for sampling and the evidence will be reviewed by a moderator. Moderation will take place remotely and feedback will be provided on results day in a final moderation report accessed on the portal. All centres with active registrations will have an annual monitoring review to review your policies and procedures. Your quality reviewer will contact you to suggest a date and time to conduct your AMR. No learner profiles will be sampling during the review, and the QR will not provide any subject-specific guidance. For further support, visit our AMR page on our website and view the user guide to the annual monitoring report. If you have any queries about quality assurance, please contact the external quality assurance team. You'll be asked to submit marks for each learner on the portal, and we will use these marks to select learners to be sampled based on a JCQ sampling strategy. A sample will be requested based on stage 3, and you will be able to view learners selected for sampling on the portal. Learners selected for sample will be visible on the portal the day after the window closes. Centres will be required to view the sampling plan on the portal and upload learner evidence for sampled learners within 48 hours. Guidance on how to do this can be found on the portal user guide. During moderation, the moderator will assess the sample. Following the moderation process and the outcome of our quality checks, one of the following 3 marks will be applied to your cohort. Provider mark confirms that the provider mark has been accepted. This means that the provider marks were within tolerance of the moderator marks. The provider mark has been accepted for all learners within the cohort. Regress mark confirms that the regress mark has been accepted. A moderator mark confirms that the moderator mark has been accepted. You will receive a moderation report to explain the outcome of moderation activity along with areas performed well and areas for development. For further information and guidance, please do refer to Preparing for a Moderation Review on our website. The next slides will give you details of the resources and support that will be available to you in your centres. Visit ncfe.org.uk to find everything you need to know about onboarding, quality assurance, using the portal, moderation and assessment, certificates, training events, forms, support visits and much more. You will also find a dedicated area to support the delivery of essential digital skills, functional skills, T-levels, as well as V Certs, including curriculum support and assessment resources. If you're involved in teaching assessment and the quality assurance, these pages will be the most useful. The V Cert page, delivery support, assessment support, customer and learner support, and preparing for quality assurance. On our NCFE website within the V Cert page, you'll find the information about why choose V Certs and the 14 to 16 schools brochure that contains information about the key stage for vocational education and how to learn more about our V Cert qualifications. This could also be used as an options evening to help learners make informed decisions about which qualifications to take and what the progression opportunities are and the career prospects. You will also find the link to each subject-specific page that contains information such as a specification, sample assessment materials, and teaching materials. We also have our Parent Supporter and Pupil V Cert Information Hub, where the resources are aimed to helping parents and learners make informed decisions around V Certs, including a parent guide, what learners think about V Cert, and subject guides. On both pages, you can also use the Get in Touch function where you can request more information on subjects you're interested in. And there is also the opportunity to tick the marketing communication box to receive updates on our qualification events and news relevant to you via email, on the phone, or through social media channels. You can use our Search Our Qualifications function by adding your subject area on our qualification code or select V Certs in the featured box. Always ensure you're on the correct page by checking the qualification accreditation number. This is the page for health and fitness. If you scroll down, you will see some brief information about the qualification, including the career opportunities and performance table details. And if you scroll further down, you will see the support materials tab where you'll find the qualification specification, the synoptic connections document, and the tutor guidance document. In the assessment materials tab, you will find the sample assessment materials that are available for the NEA and the EA. Lastly, the teaching materials will also be available to download here too. If you don't have a login, it would usually be your exams officer who can help. You can also refer to the portal user guide on our website for further support. There are classroom packs containing ready-to-go teaching and learning materials with everything you need to deliver the V Cert effectively. The classroom packs will be in a digital editable format and will be free to download. There will be schemes of work which completely outline entire units of work based on a 1-hour lesson for each of the content areas. The scheme of work will contain additional level of detail to help you deliver your lesson and include the suggested timings, lesson aims, learning outcomes, and suggested assessment activities. You will also have complete PowerPoint presentations covering the teaching content from the specification and includes teaching activities that could be used with your learners. There will be comprehensive workbooks to complete to the scheme of work, which will contain classroom-based activities to recap and assess learning. The workbook will also include independent study tasks that can be used as homework or flipped learning opportunities, whatever you decide. Furthermore, the workbooks will contain learning roundups, which will be short formative assessments for the learners to assess their knowledge using similar question types of those that will be used in the external assessment, multiple choice question, short answer question, and extended response questions. As with all resources, it's best to use them and adjust them to suit your learners. Using the actual assessment materials is a good way to make revision effective. And I've already mentioned there are also sample assessment materials that are available for the EA and the NEA for you to access on our website. On our website, you'll find everything you need to support you with assessment. In the Access Arrangements and Reasonable Adjustments section, you will find information about paper modifications and ways that fair assessment can be achieved and the associated policies. In Special Considerations, you'll find the Special Consideration Policy, the definition timescales, and how to submit a request for external and internal assessment. Before booking an external assessment, please refer to our external assessment timescales for booking cut-off dates, assessment dates, times, and the results release dates. For our V Cert qualifications, you are required to make a booking for the external assessment at the time of registration. You will be prompted to select an external assessment date window before completing the registration in the portal. For the external assessment, there is a document called Regulations for the Conduct of External Assessment. For the internal non-exam assessment, there is a tutor guidance document which includes details about administrating each NEA task and the NEA regulations. There will also be qualification specified instructions for delivery document, or QSID for short, that gives specific information for the different qualifications. For example, if the assessment needs to be invigilated.
There is a V Cert frequently asked section on our website where you can use the categories to find the relevant answer to your questions. If you have a question that isn't covered, you can always use our live feature or contact the customer support team using the contact details on this slide. On the V Cert's delivery support page, you'll see that we offer a range of delivery support events for V Cert, such as networking to preparing to teach and standardisation. There is also a V Cert playlist on our YouTube channel, and there are numerous webinars, CPD sessions and training events which you can access on demand. Other support that is available includes our quality assurance team, who can be contacted in relation to anything about quality assurance. And our wonderful customer support team, who can help and support with first line inquiries, registration queries and bookings on the portal. You can also email vcerts@ncfe.org.uk with any questions that are specifically related to VCert qualifications. NCFE do endorse both Hodder and iAchieve, and there is a second edition learner textbook and Boost ebook along with a revision guide that are both available to order now. For more information, visit their website or contact them on the email provided for more information. iAchieve have produced complete and online resource packages that support these technical qualifications. And again, for more information, do visit their website, iachieve.org.uk. The provider development team supports staff to ensure that you're prepared to teach the qualification and are clear on the requirements for the delivery and assessment of the qualification. We can provide tailored interventions to meet individual needs of the centres, as well as offering a range of other support services, such as monthly webinars, training sessions, workshops, and consultations where necessary. If you do have any questions or require any further support, you can contact us directly at provider.development@ncfe.org.uk, and your question or query will be directed to a subject specialist within the team, or you can request a support call via our website.